Google time. Oh, there we go. As we say, Google time, we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Web Tools TV. And today we are featuring the tool Duecom. But first, with the founder, or maybe, John, I'll let you answer this in just a moment. But my special friend, John Rampton, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Sure thing. Before I go into the, hey, introduce yourself, tell us about yourself. You're actually like co-founder of Do.com, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, along with Murray Newlands. Yes, Murray,
Correct.
I can say your name, I promise. I just always refer to him as Murray. He's the only Murray I know, but excellent. Well, go ahead, John. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, not to talk all about myself, but no, I'm just joking.
We want you to.
Yeah. My name's John Rampton. I'm an entrepreneur. I write for lots of places. I write for Forbes, Inc., Entrepreneur, Huffington Post. I typically write about my successes, my failures in buying, starting, selling, and crashing companies. So
Crashing companies.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh yeah. I've had a couple, epic failures along the way, just like any entrepreneur. So, that's the life of an entrepreneur. You're going to succeed sometimes, you're not going to other times.
I was just doing, I was writing an article, actually it was somebody else's material, and I wish I could give credit, but if you go to GIR Journal, and no, this is not like an ad, but it's because I really do want to give credit to whoever put the visual together, but they had like 24 ways to be creative, and one of them was take risks. So it's like, if you don't get out there and take some kind of risk.
Yeah, you have to take risks. You'll never go anywhere in life if you don't take risk. So, even if that risk is just, getting on a swing at school, and you're terrified of it, you have to take risks to get somewhere.
Excellent point. And I've seen you advertised everywhere. Like, I can't even remember. I know you write for Forbes, but it was like I'm seeing your name pop up in all these places. Like, oh wow, I know a celebrity.
Oh.
Like serial entrepreneur. That's the label I seem to see the most as far as attached to your name.
Yeah. I try and label myself as an entrepreneur because I'm doing lots of different things. I invest in lots of different companies and really try and get myself out there.
And you also recently you just finished a stint as now was it managing editor of Search Engine Journal?
Yeah, I was managing editor for about a year and a half. I don't even remember how long it was. Yeah, I was a managing editor of Search Engine Journal. They're a great publication. They're actually based out of the Bay Area as well. But yeah, I was managing editor there. Great publication.
And you guys did something similar as this, as far as interviews. We bumped into each other at one of the pub cons.
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
We had this set up.
Yeah, we would interview people at different conferences, just get the local experts and be able to get great information that helps people out. So
very helpful. Yeah, I talked to someone about doing that in Santa Monica, and then I went to Santa Monica, and it was like, it's not quite the hubbub it used to be before the economic crash. So maybe when we all recover, then we can start doing these like street scene things and interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, very, very true. If you're getting into that and want to go into we did it at conferences and it worked out really, really well. So, that worked really well for us. We were actually able to, trade a booth at the conference for doing all these interviews. So most of the conferences, we got a free, booth there, and we're able to promote ourselves and the conference at the same time and interview lots of people. So
okay, that's the secret. Because see, I've been like saving up the money for the big booths so that I can have all the lights and everything.
If you're trying to do stuff, go to the conferences and be like, hey, I wanna interview other people, and it's a great way to get a free booth and meet a lot of people and help them out, and it's helping the conference out at the same time.
Definitely.
So.
See, there you go, guys. You are watching John Rampton in action. Great ideas. Now you see how he's like a serial entrepreneur because it's just like flowing out of him.
Hey, I like helping people. What can I say?
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about Do.com. That's an actual application.
Yeah, so Do.com is an online invoicing tool and bill payment system where all the freelancers out there or small businesses can, use our product to invoice their clients, and it tracks them. When you send a person an invoice, they can first of all pay it online through PayPal, credit card, or many other different ways. But even more than that, it tracks if the person sees it when they open it. It keeps track of reoccurring expenses, and it keeps track of all your bills and expenses on the back end.
Wow. So now, is that for the person that's actually, like, for the company, they can keep track of their own
Correct.
bills in addition to like billing their clients and
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I build it for myself. I mean, I have been a freelancer for a long time, whether it be on a big scale or a small scale, with a big company behind me or not. And I'm able to invoice people. And, you have clients, these monthly clients, say you're writing articles for people. Every single month you can go and invoice those people for your services, and, then they pay it online and you get paid. Then it keeps track of everything for you.
it's got to be better than, I hope PayPal's not listening, but it's got to be better than just tracking it only in PayPal. Because when I'm in taxes, it's like, it feels upside down. So like
Yeah.
trying to go through each one. And
We try and make it a little bit easier. We have different things to export to QuickBooks, to export to your accountant, stuff like that. And, you're able to search different things. And we try and also put in expenses so you can keep track of your expenses. You can connect it to your bank account. So it pulls in every expense for your business and says, hey, here's what you're doing every month.
wow. I was just going to ask you if you could export to QuickBooks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we like QuickBooks a lot.
Now, okay, I use QuickBooks, but I don't know if anyone out there is using Quicken for their business. I mean, I personally recommend QuickBooks, but do you export to Quicken?
We do export to Quicken as well. They're the exact, almost the exact file. It's just pulling in a little bit different files. Usually it's just exporting the same data and importing the same data. So it's just in a CVS format. Pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, that is very easy. Now, can people import from other software?
Yeah, so you can import from any of the different competitors. We'd love to steal you. But, you can import all your billing and expenses from QuickBooks as well. So QuickBooks has an easy export as well. You can import that all into the system and, have all that billing and information already in there from, years past.
Wow, that is really handy because nobody wants to recreate it. And, taxes are bad enough having to recreate all of that.
It is kind of a pain in the butt keeping track of your, everything.
Yes.
So,
I hate to ask this, but I'm going to. What about pricing?
Yeah. Pricing, we range from $10 a month to $100 a month for, your average freelancer. We do have free plans and stuff like that, so we're freemium if you want to try us out. Try it out for free. But our plans typically start at $10 a month and then $25 a month. If you're a 1-person to 3-person shop, the $25 a month is like everything you'll ever need. The $100 a month is more for like an enterprise client. They're sending out, people are sending them. It connects with your email, so it pulls in any invoice that you have. It pays it automatically on the date that it's due, files it away, so basically you don't have to do anything. That's available in kind of the more topper tiers. So.
Okay. So it's really, it's not just about like billing your clients. I mean, this is like a full service bookkeeping solution.
Yeah, I mean, our goal is basically, you hate books, I would imagine. I mean, when I was a freelancer, I hated keeping track of my books. When people would invoice me, I just wanted it all to come into one place and have it billed, have it paid for. Just take it out of my bank account. There's money in there. If there's not, remind me, which we do. But, I was sick and tired of some of the tools that were out there, and it didn't do it for me, so I went and built it. And, as a freelancer, you don't have time to sit and check on your bills and make sure that you're getting paid. I mean, you're out there grinding every single day, and if you don't get paid, it can hurt your business and your family life and everything. So, this keeps track of it and, make sure you get paid. It sends your clients reminders, and, it's basically a billing solution for you.
And you actually created this?
Correct.
I didn't. Wow, John, I thought I knew everything about you, but I don't. Let's see, because you're a Bing expert. I mean, you're an SEO, you're a writer, you're an entrepreneur, and you're a developer, and I'm sure a lot more other things on the list. You're
I'm an entrepreneur. That's the easiest way to put it.
That's yes. Does anyone call you a Renaissance man?
I have been known to be called other things, but Renaissance man has only been brought up a couple times.
Someone called me Renaissance woman, and I'm sorry, I hadn't heard of it before then. So someone explained that it was
compliment taken. I get far better compliments.
That's great. Now, there's a story behind, as far as there's a lot of news around do.com
Correct. Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
purchasing
mean,
it?
yeah, so we purchased Do.com. We actually had a different company, and we purchased Do.com, the domain. So that was really fun. We saw the domain come up, and we're like, hey, let's do this. Let's buy it. So we bought it, and you know, here we go on a
And I
fun
think
journey.
that hit the news everywhere too.
Yeah, yeah, that got. I mean, it was I mean, it's a three-letter, one-word domain that
Hmm.
people understand. So I mean, it cost a fair amount of money, and it's one of those things that people are like, "Oh my word! Like, what's he gonna do with that?" So they weren't
If
sure if
you're,
it was gonna be like a bill payment system or a porn site. They're like, "Which one is it gonna be?" So
that's great. Well, you
I'm
could have
not
made a lot of
joking.
money, with the porn site too. That's
Yeah, I mean, very, very true. We actually, it was funny. There was a big porn company that actually mentioned us in a blog post like two weeks ago, and we were like, this actually isn't that, but thanks.
thanks
So
for the compliment that we
yeah,
could make
thanks
money
for
with
the
it.
compliment. Yeah, I
Exactly.
didn't really think of that type of freelance, but whatever. So.
I think a lot of words for porn. Do is not one of them that.
No, no, no. It's
Okay.
not. It's not the one I would think of, but apparently.
Yeah, there you go. Well, any tips for our viewers on using do.com?
I mean, do.com I mean, I would say this is for general. I mean, I don't like pushing my products that much. I mean, yeah, cool, we have this amazing product, but I mean, if you're a freelancer out there, I mean, take a little bit of the burden off yourself. I mean, we did a recent study basically on people that got paid, right, and how you get paid online, and like people who invoice and put due dates. So like, if you're sending out an invoice, put a due date on it. Like, you're like 3 times more likely to get paid if you put a due date on your invoice.
Wow.
Also, like, so many people make mistakes when invoicing people. They actually don't put a way to get paid. They just invoice people over email and they say, hey, pay us. And then the person's like, oh my word, like, are you an idiot? You didn't even give me an address to mail you a check or a PayPal or I could send you a credit card, but like, you're a lot more likely to get paid if you give a person a way to pay you. The next would be, including that, you're about 2 times more likely to get paid if you put a logo on your invoice, like you're an actual company. Um, Other things, if you haven't been paid an invoice in 90 plus days, so it's 90 days late, your likelihood of getting that paid is around 12%. So I mean, those
Wow.
are just a couple little things. Like, a lot of people waste time after that, and there's not ways to do that. You're not going to get paid for it, so stop really trying. Other things, oh man, let's see, other little techniques is use a billing service. I mean, ours or somebody else, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, use a billing service because it can keep track of your invoices and do it for you. A lot of people, what happens to freelancers is we get so busy and in the grind that we just forget to bill the person. And then we bill them like 3 weeks after, and they're like, it comes as like a huge surprise. And then instead of them having to pay, a $500 bill, they're paying a $900 bill, and it's hard to swallow off a $900 bill versus a $500 bill. So make sure you're always billing. Like, I always say to like my clients, I bill on the 1st and 15th of every month. Like, get it to a point where you're like, on the 1st of every month, I'm billing you out. And then you can just set it in a system and do it reoccurring, or just make sure you're doing it at the same time every single month. That way you get in a system of doing it, and your clients get used to just, oh, that bill's due, I gotta pay it, oh yeah, I remembered. And those are some like really good like billing tips. Like, if you're trying to get paid and you want to be paid on time, so
That's helpful.
use these tips. Yeah, yeah. um, let's see, other things. Again, put a due date. That's kind of a big one. I mean, we analyzed like 350,000 invoices, and that was like a 3 to 1. Like, people got paid like 3 times to 1, those that put an exact date. Um,
Wow.
Other things is you are, I can't remember the exact percentage, but a little less likely to be paid if the person is further than 50 miles away
Oh, that's
from
interesting.
your business. Also, if you are under 50 miles, you're a lot more likely to be paid, but the average invoice within 50 miles is paid in like 24 days versus that out of 50 miles, like 50 miles away from your business plus, your average being paid is like 18 days. So it's usually about a week sooner, but you're less likely to be paid if they're further away. So totally
Wow.
random. I mean, we've done some fun studies like on Greece, like everybody, like we got mentioned in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, because we did an analysis on Greece, like all the people in Greece are not invoicing anymore. Like on average, we have like 11, 12,000 invoices, which isn't a ton, but we don't, I mean, Greece isn't our demographic, but we have like 12,000 invoices sent a month in Greece, right? But last month we only had, I mean, right after Greece happened and, you know, the money situation, there were only 200 invoices sent in a 2-week period of time.
From 12,000?
From 12, so you have to divide it by 2, so about
Okay.
6,000 to 200. But still,
Wow.
like, that's significant. And, like, if you can pay attention to those types of things, like, it just helps you get paid a little bit quicker. And stuff like that, you know, if your country is having problems or the money collapses. Again, this is getting into totally yonder things, but, you know, these are just little tips to get paid a little bit quicker.
You know, I realize that you write about some, I mean, we've talked about you writing for Forbes, but listening to you, it's like, oh, that makes sense why he writes for Forbes.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as
I like taking information and data that we have and making it into useful information. And again, that's just some of the information. I mean, again, I can shoot you the link afterward, and you can post it on, you know, tips that we give to actually get paid because we've analyzed a lot of invoices. But I want everybody to be paid. You know, I hated it as a freelancer. I mean, some months like you're waiting on $1,000 invoice, and that's the difference of eating or not.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
or making rent or not, and that happens to so many people. So I want everybody to be paid on time.
See, how can you help but fall in love with John Rampton? We hear hear these kind of tips and how
Of
helpful he is.
course.
Exactly. So there you have it, John Rampton. John, thank you so much for joining us. And
Thanks.
I was going to have you tell people how to find you, but I think most people know how to spell do. But
Yeah, due.com. You know, you can also find me. I have a personal website, just johnrampton.com. You can contact me, ask me questions. You know, I'm there to help people. I love helping people. Doesn't matter how stupid the question it is. You know, any way I can help you guys. If you have questions or anything, just reach out.
excellent. Thank you so much for telling us about Do, and thank you for telling us about yourself. Always a pleasure to have you. I think this is the third time I've had you on one
Yeah,
of my shows. So
I
thank
think
you for
so as
doing
well.
that. Exactly. And thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you same time, same place next week on Web Tools TV. Thanks.